Hello. This is an introductory workshop to explain what is the body and emotion code and how it can help you. Your presenter, Diane Pfister, runs seeinside.co. I am a certified body code and emotion code practitioner, and I am an affiliate of Discover Healing, which allows me to offer assistance and training for those who are interested in becoming part of the emotion code and body code learning and certification process. I want to start with some images that reflect ways of fixing problems. How many of us get through life's bumps with an attitude of, it might not be right, but it's all right for now, precarious at best, right? Hoping there is no new crisis. It falls under the category of, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. In all honesty, how many of you, hand on heart, can think of ways you compensate, avoid, or overreact to stimuli? That has just become your unique way to fix it. So ingrained it has become a habit, an addiction, an avoidance method. Take a moment to think of a different solution that does not involve duct tape, rubber bands, and glue to hold your life together. I'm actually talking about verifiable healing. I'm going to ask you to suspend your traditional sense of reality for the next few minutes. Let me introduce the past for some of you for the first time. Research into quantum physics has backed up the scientific data on how this method works. Scattered in time and place from Native American to Assyrian to Sumerian to Egyptian times, they've all known the interconnectedness of our existence. In fact, the time period where energy healing has had the most difficulty has been in the last 50 years. Big Pharma has extinguished, through law, discrimination, and even thuggery, the essence of what is now being called alternative medicine. Think for a moment. If Big Pharma is 50 years old, and these ancient methods of healing are centuries old, who is the real alternative medicine? Granted, a broken leg is best fixed in the hospital, but chronic pain, addictions, depression, weight issues, or trapped feelings, difficulties in relationships, they heal best with energy modalities before they become physical manifestations. I'm sure the terms of ki, chi, and prana are somewhere in your knowledge. These ancient words define the idea that we are no more than pure energy, light energy, living a reality in these present meat suits. It is believed we have had other vehicles, other meat suits, in other places and times, and this is just one of those experiences. One classroom, one laboratory. Light is just a frequency. This is no different from solid sounds being a frequency. The feeling you get from a Yo-Yo Ma cello solo is just so different from a Led Zeppelin guitar solo. The energy is in the frequency, and they affect us differently. As all, we are a composite of dancing frequencies, sending out and receiving and overlapping to those around us, as well as those on the opposite side of the world. We are all connected. This diagram helps to explain the power of emotions as it relates to the frequency of color. The most intense emotions, rage, grief, terror, are shown in the center in the most intense colors. Both color and emotion share in the intensity of their frequencies here. Likewise, serenity, pensiveness, and distraction show up as pastel versions of the same colors, indicating a change in frequency, ergo intensity. Frequency ranges can be described through sound, light, color, and emotion. It is all only frequency. Radio, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi waves, they share in similarity, but are different frequencies. We can't see them, but we know it's true by the results found in different devices. A radio wave works in a radio, a modem sends out Wi-Fi signals, and music can be picked up by Bluetooth devices. It's the most organized system in the entire world. Your emotions are just pure vibrating frequencies originating from different organs. Our organs are not these isolated hunks of organ meat doing what the brain tells it, voluntarily or involuntarily, as outdated science would have you believe. Certain emotions, or let's call them frequencies now, originate from the brains, as you will, of the organs and radiate out to impact other organs, other muscles, and thoughts. For example, anger is sourced from the liver. Blame and shame radiate from the kidneys. And hard as we might think, thinking is it. The Chinese taught us, and science now validates, that the heart is the thinker and it controls everything. Our focus today will be on the powerhouse of energy located in the heart. We'll learn that if in that heart ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, and I mean no body. The real sin of our educational system is that children are not taught to release their own potentially trapped emotions. Instead, the layer upon layer of criticisms, judgments, labeling that goes into the educational system gets stored in the body. And it starts in the 3rd trimester. If you'll indulge me, even experiences from ancestors can get passed down. Distorted perceptions, attitudes, and even physical functioning of the body. These trapped emotions, in the same way excess baggage can ruin the flow of a holiday, so can trapped emotions ruin your ability to think, feel, love, and care for others. It can block you from abundance, fertility, athletic prowess. It can result in addictions, depression, phobias, relationship issues, and eventually medical conditions. Carrying around the history of an energy creates problems, creates issues, keeps you from being who you really are meant to be. The simple removal allows you to feel lighter, breathe deeper, and relax without fear. Think, return to your original DNA template. Before the proverbial fecal matter hits the oscillating machine, you can get back there. Start removing when you're young. If you're not young, start today. Leaving it means they can create more complex chronic pain and imbalances. A singular trapped emotion can be felt as a cold blowing whisper, a ball of energy located in the etheric plane, an aura around the body. Once identified as an emotion, which is just a word that best matches that stored frequency, and then it's identified by the date of inception. How old were you when this happened? A light is shown on it to separate it from the other trapped emotions. It's then pulled out and released. Many people can actually feel the process of this leaving their body. Calling it a trapped emotion is somewhat innocuous to its lurid potential. If left unfettered, trapped emotions can lead to serious inflammation, disease, and it's even been blamed for cancer. Have you ever heard of breast cancer being blamed for stored anger in the breast tissue? This is just a trapped emotion. Have you known someone who always had knee problems, ankle problems, tennis elbow, or other chronic scenarios with no resolve? Medication can remove the symptoms in some cases, but that's like taking a hammer to your yellow warning light on your car's dashboard, telling you need to put air in your tires. Really? Blame the light? No, the physical pain is just a symptom, the yellow light. The cause, in many, many cases, is a trapped emotion. This is just a start of the list, and be aware that this process works ever so quickly, and just as well in animals too. I've worked on cats, dogs, even an elephant. I volunteer at an animal shelter for abused and homeless creatures, and it's a godsend for them. If you want to put the pause button and look at this list and the next list coming, please do. And that leads us into emotional problems. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what can be addressed. Your ancestors could have left their mark on you as well. As I touched on before, you can have a distortion in your energy field from many generations back. It can be a trapped emotion, a myism. That's when an ancestor had a traumatic illness that changed their and therefore your DNA. Think of all the different illnesses over the centuries, from plague to black plague, goes on and on. And those are stored in people's DNA. And the removal from you can affect them, definitely if living, and the thought from those who do talk to those who passed on, not me, but there are some that do, say that streams of gratitude filter down when these painful energies are released from ancestors. And it can be passed to your children, and it can be released from your children and your future lineage. How does this work? Well, the conscious mind is the keeper of keys, the brusher of teeth, the one that worries about weight and fashion and hair. It just gets you there. The subconscious, that's often called the higher self, is your spirit self. It knows everything. It remembers every face you saw in a crowd, everything you ate, thought, felt, or desired. It is the Akashic record keeper in the etheric plane. It is what knows the trapped emotions that are affecting you. It wants you to be happy. It wants you to be balanced and feel worthy. It is what I communicate with. By releasing the distortions, this higher self is free to heal you. I don't heal you, I facilitate healing. Your higher self heals you. Have you ever known people who seem to walk around with a dark cloud over their head? Think Pigpen, Fred or Charlie Brown. They can't see a way out because like attracts like. By having a low frequency, all they attract are people's, things, and situations that are just the same over and over again. It becomes their world. You have to release the lower frequencies in order to make room for the sound, the color, the life of a higher frequency existence. You might think certain questions will result in certain answers, but I am constantly amazed when I get answers from the subconscious that shock the person. Things like a simple statement like, I love myself, which might elicit a yes from the conscious mind, of course I love myself, often results in a resounding no from the subconscious mind. We then get immediately to work to remove the underlying causes for this statement to be false. Once released, those stored blocks fall away, and you end up with someone standing before you in tears of joy, a lighter sense of being and abundance. You're meant to love yourself. It's there. It's just being blocked. In a session, I start by setting aside my own needs and then allowing my system of communication to interact and speak from the patient's higher self. Then, with positive intention, I use the governing meridian, which is aligned with the acupuncture system, as the main energy center in the body in order to remove these blocks. Since the human and animal body is magnetically charged, we can use a powerful magnet to feed in positive intentions as well as take out negative energies from the energy field. I know I might lose some of you here, but I ask that you remember the quantum physics ideas. The Native Americans, the Sumerians, they believed we are all connected in a shared energy field. Let's think of the word universe. Uni, obviously it means one, and verse, a sound, a frequency, a matrix. Therefore, an energy field shared as one. And our language hides the plain truth. Just to make you aware, changes can be felt instantly, or they can take 2 to 4 days to process. Some people feel lighter and more energetic immediately. Some people feel a percent again of the emotion released, as in the theory of homeopathy. But most positive changes occur in the first 3 days for the better. Today we turn to the heart wall, which is one of the most important issues in body code. As mentioned before, the heart is really a brain to our life. If our heart is covered in heart walls, the intentions and perceptions of this heart brain becomes distorted. We create heart walls out of our circulating emotions around a tragic event. They are grabbed and used to create a shell, a bomb shelter, to protect the heart from further damage. But it backfires. You may be sending out butterflies of love, but by the time it finds its way through the crevices and crannies of the wall, it can come out and be perceived by others as a gargoyle. Likewise, others may be sending you butterflies, and you only perceive gargoyles. Everyone loses. Removal of heart walls results in instant feelings of gentleness, aliveness, even friskiness. As soon as you are strong enough to remove them, you will be happy enough to love again, be creative again, thrive in abundance. The next few slides are about some of my patients, and I thought I'd start with Cosmo, an older dog, let's say 15 years old, from a family home that always kept 5 dogs in the house. When one would pass, they would get a new puppy. I was called to treat Cosmo as the last hope before being put down by the vet. Here is a bog standard treatment plan showing how emotions, heart walls, and a trapped picture of self can result in near suicidal states. After I presented this treatment, the owner told me that the dates of traumas directly lined up with the death and subsequent puppy replacement of Cosmo's siblings. Cosmo was deeply affected by all of those transitions. Here is another case. And another. There are many testimonials on my website if you want to have a look. Okay, I want to thank you for your time during this presentation. If you'd like more detailed information, please see my website and sign up for my monthly newsletters where new and exciting discoveries and stories await you. If you have specific questions or want to book a healing, send me an email.